What's up, everybody? My name is Josh. I'm the one who started Just Look Up Ministries. I started it for a whole bunch of reasons, but before I get to that, I guess you should know. I just am coming off of a 7-year prison sentence in the feds. I got charged with a violation of the United States Statute 922G, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I had some assault weapons and pistols and a bunch of ammo. I was just all the way out of control. I was all the way out of control from way back. You could go way back. When I was a little kid, I was breaking into stuff and stealing stuff and acting crazy. And, I started doing drugs at a real young age, and it just spiraled out of control from there. I eventually got hooked on heroin and meth, and I just had no conscience. I believed I had no soul. I was all the way lost as one can get. I joined a prison gang, a white supremacist organization, and I had made it to the top of that organization, or just about at the top. I was second in command, and everything I did just got me more and more lost. And I didn't know where to turn. Well, I got busted by the feds, and they hit me with this charge, and man, I just broke. Something in me just broke. They told me I was facing 188 months to life, and I mean, it wasn't even the time. It was just time. It was time to take stock of my life and to see what was the problem. I try to be honest in my evaluations of myself and other people. I tend not to say it if it ain't true, but I just started talking to God one day, and I don't know why. I mean, I had some crazy experiences, but stuff that convinced me that there was something where I had once believed that there was nothing. But I didn't know who I was talking to. I was just talking, and the crazy thing is, man, stuff started happening. He started answering my prayers, like in really specific ways. And, I'm a natural born skeptic, so it took a lot of really specific answers before I finally, let go of the fact that we are time plus matter plus chance, and accepted that, I am a created being. And once that acceptance was made, I decided it was time to figure out, who made me, and what does he want, and what should I, how does that affect me, So I just started studying religions and, a lot of different religions. I wanted it to be anything other than following Christ. I'm still hesitant to say the words Christianity, but, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, Yeshua. And, I just kept just plugging away. I didn't do anything special. I didn't, have any cheat code. I just kept reading the words in those books and trying to do them. And I had just noticed along the way that the stuff he was saying to do ain't the stuff that I seen him doing at the church. I didn't see anybody practicing these things, I mean, the biggest one is lay not up for yourself treasures on earth where moth and rust doth corrupt and thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. But, I started looking at all these churches and all these people I knew, and that's exactly what they were doing, laying up treasures here on earth. And, if you like things, then fine, but, that ain't me. So I just started helping people. I just started giving stuff away. I'd buy commissary in prison and just give it away. And everybody, my brothers thought I was losing my mind. I mean, everybody did. But I didn't care, because every time I took a step closer to him, I could feel his presence, and he was closer to me. And so I just kept going. I started studying theology. I got involved with the church there in prison, and man, that church was awesome. It was awesome. You had Crips and Aryans and just the most diverse group of people all coming together under his name, and it was beautiful. And we would have heated debates about what this meant and that meant, and it was just true fellowship and brotherhood. And so then I get out, and I thought, well, man, if prison's like this, then the world's going to be so much better. And then I got out, and I was just hit in the face by what is really the state of the world today and the state of the church today. People who look like me, they're not welcome. You go in and you don't feel welcome. It doesn't feel like a place that you escape to, or a sanctuary. it feels like a place to go and get judged, and it just felt unnatural to me. And people looked at me like I was about to rob the place, and so I didn't want to go back. And yeah, there's good churches out there, and if you found one, then that's great. Then stick with it. But I decided that there had to be more people out there like me, believers who come out, or who just feel out of place in the church in the West today, just who feel like they don't belong, and feel like that's not okay. And that's what the church tells you, is it's not okay, but it is okay. It's okay because it's a natural feeling to not want to be somewhere where people are seemingly against you. And so that's why I created Just Look Up Ministries, just to help the people who no one else wants to help. The ones who are too scary or too aggressive or too, strung out or just, I don't care if you come to church. I just come to church. We'll figure the rest out. You ain't got to get cleaned up. You ain't even got to wear a shirt. If you want to come, you can come. And that's how our Zoom rooms are going to be. If you want to come and you want to hear about the Lord in a respectful manner, then, all are welcome. For all have sinned and fell short of the glory of God. So, I started this ministry and basically just to find a little perfect fit for misfits, and that's what I want. So if you're out there and this message doesn't pertain to you, then that's great, man. Then you got you go, But if you're out there and you're struggling and you just feel like you don't belong, and you want to just talk to some like-minded people who are more caught up on doing the things that the Lord tells us to do, than worrying about if your vocabulary is cleaned up or trying to define what's a curse word. I think all that stuff, just miss me with that, man. I do the Lord's work every day in my life. If I see an opportunity to fix it, I fix it. If I can help somebody, I just do it. I'll take my own money in my pocket and pay for somebody that I know, is probably not going to appreciate it, but I don't care because I just do it for the glory of God. And, that's the whole message of this ministry, is doing something for the glory of God. Don't tell me you have faith. Show me. I want to see your faith. I want to see your faith in action. And, it's one of those things where, man, a lot of times I look at churches and I'm like, man, I just want to say, put up or shut up. Show me what you do. Show me your works. You'll know them by their fruits. So what are the fruits of your faith, of your relationship with God? Because if you're still sitting on the couch and you think throwing $20 in the offering plate, every Sunday is going to get you into heaven, man, you must have read a different book than me. And that's real talk. But anyway, like I said, that's just a short version of what we're doing here and why it exists at all. But like I said, if you're lonely or broken, or you feel like you want to know more about God, about Jesus, about Yeshua, if you feel like you want to know more about him, then by all means, all are welcome. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there today and say God bless you all, and later.